everybody, and welcome to my masterclass on rolling stars. The first thing I want to show you today is how to roll cores. Along the way, I want to show you how to do everything the right way, and I'm also going to show you a whole bunch of how to do things the wrong way. The first mistake we're going to come across is how do we start stars that are too wet. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to soak these with water, and I'm going to show you how to overcome that mistake. So what we want to do here is we want to get these spread out as much as we can, and we want to get composition on them quickly. Once we've got composition on them, we can get them off of the star roller and we can get them rolling in the composition, and that's how you're going to overcome that initially. Once you get those stars off of the star roller, we can get them rolling in the composition. We're going to give them a little denatured alcohol and purified water. And we're just going to let those take up as much of that composition as we can get them to take up. It's important at this point not to use too much water, because if you use too much water, things are going to start sticking together. If things start sticking together, you're going to use a really loose thumb and finger grip on a spoon or whatever tool you're using, and you're just going to kind of roll against the rotation of the star roller and just break everything up. Once we've got all that composition taken up, we can keep adding layers. So moisten your stars, add comp, and keep your star roller as clean as you can. You want to watch for signs that the stars aren't taking any more composition. Stop adding composition there. You don't want too much in there. As far as the speed of the star roller goes, you want the stars to be cascading over each other, almost like a wave. Some important things to note: you're going to have extra comp is going to hang out towards the back of the pile of stars, and the big stars are going to want to hang out more towards the front of the stars. That's also where you're going to start to notice your raspberries. And we'll get into raspberries here in a little bit. If you've added too much composition, go ahead and spray a little bit of denatured alcohol and water onto your stars and kind of toss them up the back of the star roller to get them to pick up that extra composition. It's really important to get your water and denatured alcohol sprayed directly onto your cores. If you don't, they're going to start sticking to your star roller just like they do right here. I'm going to slow the star roller down and show you exactly what I mean. Okay, I'm going to get a little water on the side of the star roller here, and it's going to pick up a whole line of stars on the side. And if that happens, you're just going to scrape them off of the side and keep doing that until it stops doing that entirely before you add more composition. The reason we don't want that is because every time it rolls by that clump of stars, it's going to cause a sloshing effect, rocking back and forth of the stars. And like I said, we want a nice slow cascading effect. Once you've got your stars cascading nicely again, you're going to go ahead and add a little composition, and you're going to see I add intentionally a little bit too much. You'll see the composition actually kind of crawling up the back of the star roller. I'm going to give you a quick example of fine mist and not so fine mist. So the finer mist is pretty obvious here. When you add too much composition, you want to throw some fine mist in there and just give it time. That's always the solution when you add too much composition. Gentle amounts of water and denatured alcohol and time in the star roller. Just let them pick up that composition nice and slow. Again, it's worth mentioning to continue to scrape excess composition off the side of your star roller. And if you see composition building up underneath your stars and they're not cascading as well, let's say they're starting to just kind of slide, just flip them over, roll them over themselves. Go to the back where the composition's piling up and flip them back over onto themselves. It's totally normal, and you're going to start to notice what we call auto rollers. Those are cores that start off of just a little speck of water, so it'll create like a little moisture pocket, and they'll start rolling its own little core on top of it. Again, once you start getting to a certain size, about 1/8 of an inch, we're going to start screening these out just for uniformity's sake. We want all of these stars to be as uniform as possible, so we're going to start screening them out at 1/8 of an inch. It's also worth mentioning that when we roll stars, we don't go over 1/8 of an inch every time. So every time you roll these, every time you add size to them, You want to add no more than 1/8 of an inch, and the reason for that is it starts to ruin them actually. They get heavy in the star roller and they start to collapse under their own weight. You'll start to see chunks breaking off of the stars themselves. So screen regularly and don't add more than 1/8 of an inch at a time. Once you've screened out your 1/8 inch stars, you can get right back into adding composition to your cores. Go ahead and moisten your stars, add composition, and then give them time rolling in the star roller, and add moisture as needed to pick up the excess composition. If you're seeing composition build up on the backside of your stars, just reach in there with whatever tool you're using, whatever scraping tool you're using, and just flip them back over onto themselves, and that'll help pick up composition also. It's worth mentioning to you that this video is being played back to you at 2x speed. I've been rolling these stars for several hours at this point. This is by no means a fast process. Think of a jawbreaker, how long it takes for a jawbreaker to gain size. That's essentially what we're doing here. So we're adding size to these cores very slowly. In a minute, I'll slow the video down to regular speed so you can see how fast I'm actually turning these cores. The longer you roll your stars, the more screening is going to be required, and it's worth mentioning also that it may take multiple screenings to remove the majority of the 1/8 inch cores out of the batch. So it may take you multiple screenings to get all of your cores out. Don't be shy to do 2 or 3 screenings. Alright, so we're about to come up on our first raspberry. These little buggers are inevitable. There's no way to get around them. It happens to all of us. It's nothing to be discouraged about. Just go ahead, break them up, and get them back into your star roller and keep rolling. Get some composition on there and soak up some of that excess moisture that's in there. Okay, so I slowed the video down. I want you guys to take notice of how fast the star roller is actually turning. It's not going as fast as it's been for the rest of the video. So it's not exactly a breakneck speed we're turning these at, but it's not necessarily a turtle's pace either. Again, notice the nice cascading effect that we're getting inside of the star roller out of our cores. Also notice how fast it is to actually screen these out. It's not a slow process to screen them. They drop right through if they don't fit. We're coming up on the end of our video here, so I'm going to show you guys one more process of adding composition to your cores. Go ahead and get them moist, add your composition, and give them time rolling in the star roller, and add moisture as needed. And again, once you've got them with all the composition that they're going to take up, go ahead, get them screened out, and once you've got them screened out and all sized properly, you're going to want to get them on a drying rack and set them out in the sun to dry, or you're going to want to put them in what we have, a dryer box. Give them a day to dry, and then you can get right back into it tomorrow. Tune into my next video to see us adding size to the stars, and make sure you're subscribed to my channel if you like content about pyrotechnics.